YouTube is full of fruit, growing fruit, tasting fruit, harvesting fruit, preserving fruit. These are all great subjects, but in this video I'm going to show you something that may be a little bit underappreciated, and that is the flowers of your fruiting plants, whether it be strawberries, raspberries, grapes, whatever it is you grow. Let's go take a deep dive and look at some of the interesting flowers that are growing in the garden that will produce the delicious fruit that you can do all those other things with whenever that time comes. So let's go ahead and get into the garden and check out what's growing, what's blooming, and maybe show you what the finished product looks like. Let's get out there. So first up on our list, this is the gooseberry. Yes, it is a fantastic shrub. It is covered in thorns, by the way. However, it does make amazing tart, sweet fruit. But today we're talking about flowers. Check out these interesting little flowers on this gooseberry plant. Now, how cool is that? So if you've ever eaten gooseberry, you'll know they're sweet, they're tart. This is the green, I believe. They do come in red as well. But again, the flowers on this are just really pretty cool, honestly, where they kind of bend back, little purple on the center of them. Pretty interesting looking flowers. Not a lot of other plants I've seen have this particular type of flower cluster on it. I mean, check it out. So yeah, all of these will hopefully turn into berries. It will be delicious. There are hundreds of flowers on this just little tiny bush. It was just a stick a couple years ago. Now it's turned into this wonderful little bush here. But yeah, so gooseberry flowers. Who'd thought that would be something you'd be watching today? So moving on, you've all seen the common strawberry. Okay, this is just one that I stuck in here as a runner. I have dozens and dozens and dozens of mature plants, but yes, the common white flower of the strawberry, very beautiful. We all know about that. More to come. So, moving ahead here, this, ladies and gentlemen, is an apple tree. I'm trying to espalier this one, kind of make it grow laterally along this fence. I don't want to have a giant tree shading out the garden, but in the meantime, look at these wonderful, beautiful flowers. Isn't that something? So they start off kind of this little pinkish bud and will then open up into the flowers we see. So apples are, pollinated by bees, so this is very beneficial for the pollinators at the very least. If you don't want to grow apples for fruit production, you could always plant a crabapple tree, which will have many more flowers than just the standard fruiting apple that we're used to. However, you're not getting any fruit out of it, so if that's what you want, then maybe you can check that out as well. But yeah, apples, beautiful flowers on apples. Here we are just right after Easter here in zone 7. The apple trees are putting on great growth, but yeah, tons of flowers and tons more to come. This branch here is just tons of buds growing up. So yeah, definitely worth checking out, guys. Remember, it's not only about the fruit. The flowers are also something valuable to add to your garden. So these here, you might say, Dave, you've already showed me strawberries. And that's partially correct. These are actually alpine strawberries. I've grown these from seed from Baker Creek. These are a white variety of alpine strawberries, which are fantastically flavored. Very tropical, almost like a pineapple strawberry with a little berryness to it. It's pretty fantastic. But yeah, just check out these beautiful flowers as well. Now they do resemble the common strawberry you're all accustomed to, but the leaves, if you look closely, are in fact a little bit different, a little more serrated, a little less lobed on them, and a much more compact bushy plant. And as a side note, the alpine strawberries don't actually produce runners. What you would do is you would actually just divide this big clump in here and make some more plants out of it. But yeah, so I picked this variety because the birds are supposedly not going to eat them as much because they're white. I guess they only perceive the red as being ripe, so that's why you get a lot of your actual strawberries and raspberries and things picked on. But yeah, so they're fantastic. Who doesn't love raspberries? These raspberries are doing fantastic this year. I cut them back and they're coming back strong, and they're already putting on some berries. But did you know raspberries also have flowers? Pretty common sense, but here we go. I have to get down low for this one. But check it out, guys. These are raspberry flowers. And as they get pollinated or do their thing, they kind of turn into this stage here. And then this stage eventually will develop into baby, and people call them berries, but they're actually drupes. They're every individual little bubble on this is its own little fruit with a seed inside of it. Pretty cool. But yes, raspberries flower. Check them out and get up and close and personal with your plants, guys. You're going to learn some pretty cool and interesting facts. What I want to show you here is not a strawberry. Now this is called the mock strawberry or Indian strawberry. This is a invasive, horrible weed that grows around everywhere around here. And I've been pulling it up all day long. It makes this almost a ground cover. Some people actually might plant it on purpose for ground cover purposes, but yeah, this stuff is notorious for being a weed. And if you ever see it growing in your garden, you can distinguish it by these yellow flowers, which are pretty cool, you know. But I'm trying to grow strawberries for fruit production. I don't really want a bunch of weeds kind of clogging up the garden beds. Speaking of flowers, dandelions everywhere. I do typically let these go early in the spring. They are an early source of nectar or pollen maybe for your pollinators. So if you just see a dandelion, they're not hurting anything. Yeah, just let them go. You can mow them down later in the spring. But yeah, so this is the mock strawberry. And like I said, you gotta stay on top of it because it will spread via rhizomes. If you don't get the entire clump, like right here, it'll grow back. So you make sure you really get in there and dig it up. This is kind of just off the cuff, but yeah, some of the roots are in there. This will grow back. I'm gonna come back after this and dig it up and make sure I get all the roots out of that. So yeah, growing vegetables and fruits can be fun, can be exciting, but it's not always about the finished product. It's not only about getting the fruit harvest. Remember, all fruiting plants will have to have flowers on them. So do take some time, walk around the garden, check out the flowers that may or may not be something you've ever even considered looking at before. If you're growing a blueberry bush or raspberries, when they flower, do check those out. They could be very interesting and add just an extra element of something to look forward to in the garden. So while you're waiting for those fruit to ripen up, don't forget, go check out the flowers. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys, today up on the hillside. Until next time, I'll see you. Bye-bye.